So this is about my university bisexual life. I didn't have it. It was announced to me. I didn't actually have it. I'll get into that in a sec. I wasn't having a very good day. I am, as I'm thinking way back, maybe 19 years old. No, I was 20 years old. I am in second year film production at York University. I do not want to be in second year film production at York University. I had been an actor for a long time, and being in front of an audience and talking to people like this, I can deal with. Being able to rent a camera and fill the camera and get the lights and get the permits and get from point A to point B and get the cast and get the light meter and measure everything was killing me. I realized I can't deal with this particular type of stress. So I'm having a bad day. I have tried to rent equipment, or sorry, not rent so much, it's like a library, take equipment out from the film cage in the basement of York University, which they are renting like the real world, quote unquote. It was even in quotes on the sign, this is the real world. It was open from noon until 4:15. I need to get a 16mm Bolex camera. I already have the film. I have borrowed a light from my girlfriend, who is not exactly my girlfriend. She's made it very clear I'm kind of her boy toy. I like that expression. But I'm also not her boy toy, because she went from complaining that I had seduced and abandoned her, and then I was also too close to her, so I don't know how I could do both at the same time. And I was sort of accused of being a player and a loser who could not get anybody but her due to her generosity at the same time, and it was very confusing. I don't know why I put up with it. I don't know why she did it. That's another story. I have just had a horrible, horrible fight with her, and I'm late to pick up my film equipment. So I'm in a bad mood to start with. I run to the film cage. I get there at 4:13, and it's closed. The TA, who has been there for a long time, is locking the door, and I said, Catherine, I just got here. Okay, I'm here. I just need 2 boxes. And she said, we closed early today. I said, yeah, but I still need it. And she said, no, we closed early. This is what happens in the real world. I said something that was not diplomatic. I said, Catherine, you are in your mid-40s. You are a TA in the film basement. You do not get to tell me about the real world. That is a career-limiting statement. I drop that, I walk away. There are people who have seen me say it, and they're staring at me like this. I'm not turning around. All I know is I have not had the impact I wanted, and this is going to be terrible, and I'm worried about the moment I'm sort of dating or not dating or being her boy toy or whatever, and now I've just messed up a film project. I take a corner, and there's a guy who was in my film class, Sean. Sean is a nice enough guy. Kind of looks like a cross. Who played Gilligan on Gilligan's Island? Bob Denver. Okay, looks like a cross between Bob Denver and Warren Beatty in the 70s. So kind of intensely handsome and kind of intensely geeky at the same time. He has a reputation among, any woman I can possibly think of, actually, in the film department, in the English department, in the poetry department, in a couple of physical education departments. I don't know him particularly well, but he seems like a nice enough guy. I take the corner, and he goes, hey, Derbecker, how you doing? I said, I am having a really, really bad day. And he leans over and goes, Mike, okay, dude, take a breath. Take a breath. I know. It's what you did. Was it? Yeah. What's her name at the film? It's okay, dude. You're gonna be fine. Okay. Leans forward, kisses me. Longer and with more tongue. Okay. In sheer physics, great kisser. I will give him 9.5. Here's the thing. I'm not bi, I'm not gay. You want to be bi or gay? Or any other variation? Go forth, my blessing. Not interested. Quite simply, thank you very much. And I'm not horrified by this. I have a performing arts background. There are a couple of people of alternate lifestyles in the performing arts community. This might be a surprise to some of you. Shocking, yeah, I know. So I'm not horrified, and I'm also not tempted. I'm thinking, my girlfriend is screaming at me, and I am going to be thrown out of film production, which is a good thing because I hate it, but I don't want to be thrown out of it. And he does this, and there's this weird, he kind of leans back, and he doesn't look like someone who's going to say, I've wanted to do that for so long. It's sort of like, so what next? I'm not thinking about it. I look at him and I say, thank you, no. And wander back to the film cage to plead my case. She's still there, by the way. I got there and said, that was wrong. I screwed up. I can't tell you what to do with your life. I'm very sorry. Much to my surprise, she takes a moment and she said, I don't ever need to hear that from anybody about my choices. But I should not have closed when I did. And she opens the cage and I get my 16mm camera and my light kit and what have you. I am staggering to my parents' car that I've borrowed for the day with this equipment, thinking, okay, you know what, the day is fine. I've managed to get through this, and my alleged girlfriend will call me later, and either it's over, and that's fine, or I'm still going to be her plaything, which is also fine. And Sean catches me halfway there and goes, we can keep this between us? So, absolutely. I think, dude, again, not horrified, not tempted. Thank you, no. That's it, okay? Go to my car, and I have this weird taste in my mouth, as it were, because I don't know why I did that. I mean, okay, Ross Savage lost. I'd not be flattered. I didn't think that was the case. It felt weird. It felt like this dude noticed I was kind of vulnerable just then, and that put my back up. But he's also very clear about, can we not talk about this? Okay, yeah, you know what? I don't care what you do in your spare time. Enjoy yourself. A couple of days later, I have sort of rectified things with my kind of slightly girlfriend, and I actually managed to shoot the film project in 16mm, which is a monologue by itself. And Sean comes up to me and goes, hey, listen, I just want to buy you a beer. Absolutely nothing else. Just going to buy you a beer, and thanks. You know, there's some stuff I don't tell everybody. He said, okay, that's fine. That's fine. You don't need to. Just a beer. One beer. Fine, one beer. We go to a squalid student pub, York University, and we have one beer, then we have two beers, and we have two beers and a shot. And I find out what Sean's favorite movie is. It's his makeout movie. Because after two beers, he's decided to tell me the movie that he shows people when he wants to get them into a romantic kind of cuddly mood, and we see where that leads to. I don't need to hear this. But he proceeds to tell me his perfect, I can get away with anything, this will put people in the mood for, he called it hoochie smooch, which is a slang for sex that no one else in the universe has ever used. We watch the movie and go upstairs for a little hoochie smooch. Can you guess the movie? Titanic? No. Anybody? Wizard of Oz? No. Taxi driver. Actually, that I could see it, make a case for that.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
I'll tell you a story about that later. Here's the movie, The Elephant Man. Okay, anybody seen it? Okay. If you haven't, beautiful black and white movie. It was made in 1980. It looks like it was made in 1940. David Lynch, kind of a freak. Beautifully acted, beautifully photographed, very otherworldly. I can't fault it. I know it backwards and forwards. It's one of my favorite movies. I was a film student. Of course I know it. Here's the thing. It is not what you refer to as an upper. Like, it's not a feel-good movie. Here, if anyone hasn't seen it, I got a spoiler alert for you. Here's the happy ending. He dies. This guy's had such a horrible life, this horribly deformed guy in Victorian England. He's surrounded by people who either say, oh, that poor bastard, what can we do for him? Or, oh, that poor bastard, how do we make some money off of him? And you spend the whole movie watching people try to be nice, and it's heartbreaking, or be horrible, which is also heartbreaking. And I guarantee anybody who gets on his couch to watch it is going to be sobbing 20 minutes into it. And he's there to swoop in, because when you're sad and defenseless, let's have sex. Excuse me, hoochie smooch, yes. I'm sitting there thinking, I Don't know if you're straight, gay, bi, anything. What I think you are is an opportunistic sociopath in this disguise of being a, tall, handsome, slightly goofy film student. So I'm not horrified, but I do not want to be in a room with this dude right now because he's a bizarre manipulator. So for the record, that is the start and end of my bisexual career in university. I'm bringing it up tonight because I have managed to get back in touch with this guy distantly. Want to know what he's doing these days? He's not doing 6 to 10 years in Kingston. He's not up on charges. He's not a self-help guru. He got in touch with me because he is selling fire suppressant equipment to industrial entities, such as the one I work for. And called me and said, "Hey, Mike, I just wanted to say hi. It's been a while." I say, "Hey, Sean, how you doing? How's the fire extinguisher business?" What would you say? Come on. And he said, "Yeah, no, we haven't talked for a while. Maybe I don't come down to that office very often, but we have a lot of really interesting products. And if there's anyone you know who's actually buying this equipment, maybe you could give them my name." I said, "Sure, yeah, I'll give them your name. Sure, why not?" And he said, "Yeah, the crazy stuff we did then, but then." Yeah, well, okay, fine. And, he's married. He's got 3 kids. 2 of them are 2 daughters, and they're into gymnastics, and there's a son who's into water polo. And we talked about Costco and how you can get apple juice at a good price there and stuff like that. No one knows anything across the board. I just thought it was interesting that this guy who I was convinced you're weird and horrible and manipulative and sociopathic and what have you, or maybe he was a film student and was horny. Maybe it wasn't as dark as it looked like, or maybe it was as dark as it looked like and he got past it. Maybe it wasn't as special as I thought it was that moment. I don't know. I wished him nothing but the best. I continue to wish him nothing but the best. Still wish he hadn't leaned over and kissed me when I was having a terrible day. But since I walked away with the film equipment and actually sort of kind of got back together with the girlfriend, I'm calling that a win, even 40-odd years later. So here's to winning. Cheers. Thank you.